and we're gonna bust into a review. I haven't been able to put down a movie here in quite a while, and I thought I really was gonna have a, I don't know, by the amount of hype I saw from this film, I was literally like, ooh, this is, now I gotta see this movie. Because I saw all the whole, did you see all the stags and stuff in the movie? And of course, I'm going to be talking about Leave the World Behind, 2003's Leave the World Behind, directed by Sam Esmail, produced by Julia Roberts, Sam Esmail, Lisa Robert Gling, Chad Hamilton, distributed by Netflix, based on Leave the World Behind by Ruman Alam. You know what's funny? I actually kind of, I was going through the reviews here, and so on IMDb, it gets a 6.5. Rotten Tomatoes 76, 68% on Metacritic. But over here on the ratings of about 1,000 people, it's a 1.9 on Google, which I think is probably more accurate. So for those of you who haven't seen Leave the World Behind, it's a family vacations on Long Island is interrupted by two strangers bearing news of a blackout. As the threat grows, both families must decide how best to survive the potential crisis, all while grappling with their own place in this collapsing world. Is it? Is it really about that? Because that's not what I saw.
It's a concept of it.
That's a concept of it, but it seemed. But this movie, I'm sure Steve is going to agree with me a lot, and it's not because we're blowing each other. It's literally because we have seen this movie flushed out the same way over 1,000 times. This movie might as well be called "Borrow" from all the apocalyptic movies. Yeah. Because that's what I took from this one. This movie, first of all, as I was reading, someone said, "What a disgrace of a film." Yeah, I'd actually say I'd actually go that hard.
Disgrace though?
I would say I'd go that hard too, because one of the things that kind of it was brought to my attention was everybody was like, "Hey, did you hear about the Friends reference in that movie?" And I was like, "No, what about Friends?" And they were like, "There's a reference to it." And Matthew McConaughey just died, and I'm like, "Oh, really?" Yeah. First thing I thought to myself, coincidence? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Right.
Because there wasn't no Matthew Perry. McConaughey, but there wasn't no Matthew Perry references, really. I didn't hear any. I didn't see any.
I wasn't paying attention enough.
I saw there was two Friends references, including the Friends song, which for some reason was that supposed to be dark,
Yeah,
what's really dark about that song?
But you know what's so funny about that though, Rob? I think about it like this. Where Jordan Peele
from the start. You gotta keep going while I'm doing
this. Jordan Peele is another one that does this too, right? Where Jordan Peele makes whatever song that you want, like that you think is like whatever, right? It's just a normal song, and I'm gonna make it creepy. I think they did that too. It's just an all over the place film.
Right.
Where in this film, Rob, did you think, oh my gosh, I'm super scared. I'm really, really nervous. It's like I
don't know, because there was a lot of borrowing. It was a lot of borrowing.
Super. It's everything. It's World of Worlds. It's this movie called Cell that had Samuel Jackson.
It's The Happening.
It's The Happening. It's
right.
Every single thing, but it's like everything bad from those movies get jam packed here,
mixed up. So for example, like Luke, check this out. Like there's a part in the movie where there's stags. Yeah. Because stags, I get, the symbol for danger in the woods.
Yeah.
So, but guess what? Nothing happens. There's no like the birds moments. It's not like all of a sudden they're like, oh God. And all of a sudden the stags just start like just killing them. It doesn't happen like that. Nothing like that takes place.
But that's they just show up. Like the wind blow and
they just show up.
Yeah.
They just show up. And then you have the family, basically, you have the daughter basically kind of like getting to know Ethan Hawke in the movie. And it just comes off to me anyway, when I first was watching it, was like just banter, but then she kind of like crosses the line of like kind of flirting with him. And then she goes back and tells her dad, like, yeah, he totally wants to fuck me. You want this guy living in our house and stuff? And it's like, what? So now we're here at this problem. And then all of a sudden, the kid's teeth starts to fall out, and you're like, "Whoa, what's radiation? Obviously, okay, what's going on here?" And then it turns out it's a foreign invasion film.
Okay.
So from what I just kind of explained to you, Luke, we got all the way to a fucking Red Dawn at the end.
Pretty much. And
am I wrong?
It's like
it was basically Red Dawn at the end. Like a
just
nuclear radiation attack
yeah,
happens, and
happens. People freak
everyone's
out, and it's supposed to be like if something happens and you don't know what's going on, but the world's experiencing at the same time. But just like you said, Rob, like there were so many weird things. I'm so glad you brung up the daughter thing because I'm like, wait, what the hell? Why would you say that? Like nobody, even if the craziest of the crazy people, right? Like the War of the Worlds I brung up, right? With the moment where Tom Cruise goes down and he finds what's his face, and he's obviously crazy because
Justin Timberlake.
yeah, like that's like a beat you over the head moment. He's crazy, he's out of his mind. But they do stuff here where they're trying to trick you into that type of thing. Like she's playing mind games with Ethan Hawke, and it's like not really, dude, because she just brings it up like literally out of nowhere. There's no build up. She goes back to her dad, who's like knows something, but then it's like they play their hand too much with him too. Like, does he know? Does he not know? It's like that's cool for like a scene or two, but they do it the whole.
A very Among Us type plot at one point where it's like, who's the bad guy in this house?
Bad guy? Who's the good guy?
And it's like
we don't know either. We're kind of just writing as we go, and we're just here's this scene, here's that scene.
And if you're sitting there going, God, this movie sounds confusing, because it kind of fucking was.
It's just like Rob said.
It was very confusing.
I don't want to spoil so much, but there is a scene like Rob said with the stags, where there's a bunch of stags, and people are freaking out, but you're just going like,
what's happening?
Why? What is the point? I get it. Like, why do this? It's just
right. Dumb. There was just like we keep saying it was borrowed. There was a lot of things where I was just like, and I was telling Luke off air before you came on, Steve. There was automatically the first thing I thought, I was like, there's a lot better End of the World films that I think are absolutely terrible,
and that we've reviewed here on this show.
Right. Like one of the ones I was telling like that I thought was better than this movie, and I think it's fucking horrible, is called How It Ends. Remember that Netflix?
Wow.
The one, remember that, Steve? The one where the world's ending, and you have no idea why the world's ending. You just know that shit's just hitting the fan, and at the very end, you're like, how did it end?
You know what's so funny that you bring that up? That was another Netflix show, and here's another one, a Netflix show that had to do with the world ending that you liked. Don't Look Up.
Right, but it's that's more of a parody.
It's a parody, but it's still the same concept of like the world.
It made more sense,
and it made more sense, and they take it serious. This just felt like we need to have another world is ending moment that comes out at the end of the year, but we don't really have an idea. But we have a premise.
I hate to say it too, and I know, and if I offend anyone by this, I'm sorry, but I put this movie along in the chum bucket along with this other one. This movie, to me, for some reason, seems like all the shit they cut out of that movie, the box, and they just were like, "Here's this film that's kind of like that."
The box,
the box. You know what I'm talking about? The one with Sandra Bullock, man, where she's like, you can't like look, but there was nothing there, and everyone's like, "God, this movie's so fucking deep," and it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. And
it's not
those same people.
It's the Donnie Darko director too, right? Was it
right? I'm sorry, the Donnie Darko guy. You know, let's just be honest, guys. let's be honest here. Let's we got a second. Let's go through this guy's movies real quick. Let's have an honest discussion.
Donnie Darko.
Yeah. Let's
Richard Kelly.
Richard Kelly. Yeah. All right. Let's see, because you know, I've seen a lot of Richard Kelly's films. So let's kind of talk about a little bit of them here. So there's a few of them that are since we got some time, there's a few of them I'll say there are some gems in here. Mm-hmm. But then there's some others I'm like, what the fuck? So, you know, he's got, of course, Donnie Darko, you know, from
Darko.
Yeah. Then he did S. Darko, which was about the daughter, which obviously is a direct-to-video fucking bullshit-ass movie, so we won't even talk about it. Yeah, it doesn't count. And as much as I like Southland Tales, let's be honest about it, guys. The movie doesn't really make a whole lick of fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
Operation Endgame, B-movie. Okay. Changing Lanes. I mean, it's Ben Affleck. Domino. I know people that like Domino. You're right. You're like, oh.
Nah,
The only two movies I'd say anything that I actually ever give a damn about on here is I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, which I love. Great book.
Which is crazy. It's crazy that the Donnie Darko guy made Max Tucker's movie. It's
right. And then
it's
World's
super-
Greatest Dad, which is okay.
It's wild that movie even got made. It was 2009. Like Tucker Max.
Right.
When did Tucker Max was like early 2000. It was crazy that like I didn't even know people still paid attention to Tucker Max.
Right.
That is
dude,
crazy.
it's a
Yeah,
great
that's
movie
nice.
too. It's
Yeah,
actually
it
a
is.
really
That's
good
a very hidden. That's a hidden gem for sure.
hidden gem. Like like Vito hidden gem, you know?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, dude. It's like a Vito hidden gem. And if you don't know what Vito is, it's the movie that's like Lassie, but with you know, zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys? So what did overall? I mean, Steve, what did you think of Leave the World Behind? What would you honestly give it?
I'd give it okay. I'd seriously give it probably a solid 6.
Really?
It's like maybe watch it with a bunch of people, but you're all going to be confused and not caring. Like people are going to be on their phones.
Watch it with a bunch of people when you're drunk.
When you're drunk, you're going to be when you're laughing, already being a good mood.
Yeah, like it's one of those drinking games. Like drink when you think you don't know what's going on.
When you don't know what's going on, or when they just hold on the shot for too long, longer than 5 seconds.
Right. So I'm gonna honestly give it a I'm gonna give it what it deserves, and that's gonna be a 2.4. I think it was.
Wow.
I think it was a really really bad movie. I mean, not as bad as what we were. I wasn't offended.
Yeah.
But I was definitely like,
this is a big budget movie, Rob.
all the hype
End of the year.
that I just hate movies that get so overhyped when they try to be, ooh, we're trying to be kind of creepy. We're trying to like put some meaning and metaphor. It's like, just make a goddamn end of the world disaster film. We don't need that much meaning in an end of the world film. I mean, God, we already have Armageddon.
Right. Oh my God. But you know what? Like you make fun of it, but
it's true. We already have Armageddon. We already have we have a lot of end of the world film. Even 47 Cloverfield Lane I thought was better than that movie.
The Road. Like there's so many better ones.
We have better movies than this movie. And I just don't know why people attach themselves to it. That's all. That's my biggest take on it. It's like, why attach yourself to this movie when there's better ones out there?
Damn, 2.4.
Yeah, dude, I give that movie a 2.4. I think it deserves to be in a chum bucket. I mean, it deserves to be in there with the box. I mean, I thought it was pretty fucking bad. I mean, that movie when that movie makes other movies to me stand out, it's bad.
You know it's bad, yeah.
Because I don't like to sit. You think my audience? You think I like to sit here and tell you like, go watch How It Ends now? I don't want to sit there and tell you that, but I'm definitely going to say it's better than this movie.
It's better than this, yeah, and it's on the same network. So
right,
don't waste your time.
It's just like, my God, I hate when Netflix makes me defend bad movies. That's what I'm getting tired of in Hollywood. That's what you guys need to stop fucking doing, is making terrible films that I have to defend. Then it's sitting there, we're seriously now sitting there going, well, debating, is Jurassic Park 3 pretty good or not? It's like, at one moment it was just shit. But then you make all these other ones and it's like, damn.
Is it the second best in this franchise now, dude?
Right.